Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here, joined by Kingsley Edwards, CEO of Flote.app, Flote.app, and we are going to talk about something very, very important to the spread of free information, because going down the line in the next year or two, especially going into the 2020 elections, let's face it, most of the independent medias are either going to be completely shadow banned, deleted, demonetized. The future of free information and independent medias come down to you, those watching this video right now, and we have lots of links below. But I want to get into why we're talking about this today. There's two reasons. One, YouTube is unrolling these new terms of services, and two, Flote.app answers a lot of the questions that a lot of people have and concerns regarding the inevitable deletion of their channels on YouTube. I first want to go into this article out of The Verge that says YouTube says it has no obligation to host anyone's videos, and other changes affect children's content. And as it mentions, one of the most controversial clauses that creators have tweeted about since YouTube began alerting people to the upcoming changes to the terms of service has to do with termination. Various YouTubers have tweeted out a segment from the terms of services that states, and I quote, "YouTube may terminate your access or your Google account's access to all or part of the service if YouTube believes in its sole discretion that provision of the service to you is no longer commercially viable." Some creators have read this as saying that YouTube can simply terminate channels and accounts if they're not earning revenue. A version of that line has been in YouTube's terms of service since early 2018. However, this update just modifies the wording to give YouTube more leeway to make the determination. It now says that YouTube has the sole discretion to terminate an account, whereas before it said that YouTube must reasonably believe it should do so. So let's talk about this a little bit. I think it's interesting. Their wording is basically opening the door for them to take down channels alongside an FTC ruling, which recently, YouTube's saying it has nothing to do with the FTC ruling, but they're basically kind of bowing down to the FTC in a way. They're covering their butts for possible legal pressure down the line. And on top of that, they're also bringing in new rules that affect children's content, but it's not just affecting children's content. I mean, it's things as simple as having a kid like talk or say something in the background can come down on a channel and cause the channel to not only be demonetized, but deleted and comments erased from being able to be posted, which is interesting because, you know, some of the videos, the controversial videos of children on YouTube are left okay, fine to be played. Videos that are really, really concerning to say the least, that I'm not going to go into in great detail in this video, but like a child opens a box of a toy or something, and now it's like that's inappropriate. I mean, it says a lot about their mentality. But I wanted to ask you, what do you think about the changes to YouTube's terms of services, and what kind of danger this means for, you know, the regular creator on YouTube, not just independent media, but gamers and makeup artists, anything really for that matter?
Yeah, well, what's interesting about this particular, time now, or things that they're proposing, is that I actually found out about it from not even just like independent journalists like yourselves, or, you know, I know Dan Dix, he just put out a video, but I saw it from just actually random YouTubers that, like, one was a gamer, and he was worried because he, it's video games. They could be considered for children. Another one was some craft, or no, it was they did like toys or whatever, like they did some sort of reviews of like toys and stuff like that. But it was not like marketed towards children. It was just like, you know, just the thing that they did, and they were successful in doing that so far. So this is going to affect, I mean, everyone from independent journalists to, more family friendly content, or just, you know, like gaming, for instance. I mean, that's just a crazy thing to me, because that video games is obviously targeted to, yes, there's adults that play video games. I still do, but you know, I mean, children. Yeah. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this is going to affect just the YouTube user base, and what's going to happen as far as, you know, channels being able to survive after December 10th, right? Yeah,
it's as of December 10th. We're basically moving as fast as we can to get out content where we can actually still monetize, because I'm convinced that Wham is going to be deleted off of YouTube within the next year and a half or so, probably less, and we're definitely going to be demonetized very, very soon. We're almost entirely demonetized as it is, and they've already cut down our viewership by 80% since January, monetization by 90% since January. So it says a lot about the moves that are being made. There's kind of almost a death desperate move to do this, and it doesn't help YouTube financially by any means at all. It's basically all about control at this point. And I have to note, people like PewDiePie, his content, he might, kind of swear, he might kind of cater his videos for 20-somethings, but at the end of the day, he has a lot of children who watch his videos. And when you have a lot of children that watch your videos, YouTube can determine in that way that it's for children, and therefore it can be demonetized, and it can be, completely deleted off the internet, for example. And a lot of channels have been deleted recently. So I have to ask, with Flote.app, and honestly, as far as alternatives go, I think Flote.app is the best so far that has come along, especially with all the things that you could do on Flote, reach people without being censored. What is your answer to this concern with Flote.app? Because I know a lot of creators are desperately looking for ways that they could possibly make revenue, they can reach their audience, they can go without some centralized force deciding what people can or cannot see of theirs.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of content creators are, they're having to promote their Patreon, their GoFundMe, their PayPal, whatever they can do, because a lot of people have been demonetized, 80, 90%, 100%. So we're really now focused on with all this, especially with all this new news. This is going to be a major focus of ours. We're finishing out some features this month that we were already started to work on, so those will be released. But actually, in December, we're really focused, specifically on creating ad revenue for content creators on Flote. And we will be, this isn't going to be, we're not fully decentralized yet, but we're going to share more in the ad revenue. We're still putting together the numbers, but we're going to be sharing quite a bit, more of the portion of the ad revenue to content creators directly.
Right. Right, and this is really important because, looking at YouTube, I think it's worth pointing out that they take a ridiculous amount of the revenue of the creators as it is. Now, if you can get like 10% of your audience over to Flote, that makes a huge difference in your ability to actually, be able to create things and make money and be able to do this for a living. Because I know a lot of creators out there are watching this, and a lot of creators are very concerned for their own futures. Are they going to have to quit doing this forever and, go back to whatever they were doing before? A lot of people are really concerned about this because it affects their livelihood, which is why I think it's interesting that, Flote is coming at the perfect timing as YouTube basically shuts out people, Facebook cuts people off, Twitter shadow bans. All of these entities are doing this at the same time. And I have to note, when I go on YouTube, half the time when I search up the name of a video exactly and put World Alternative Media next to it and press search, I'm like on the 5th or 6th page, if I even find myself at all. And the first thing I see is Fox News, CBS, PBS, ABC, all these, mainstream medias. And it says a lot about, people left mainstream media for YouTube. And now people are going on YouTube and all they're seeing is mainstream media. I think people are going to naturally move in the direction of things like Flote and BitChute and others. So I think that's really important. But as far as algorithm goes, people are worried about censorship. Shadow banning is one of the worst feelings, is being shadow banned, because not only is it not visible for you to see, it's the fact that you are putting a bunch of work into something that in the past, even with a quarter of the subscribers, got way more viewership, and now it's like it's just dwindles. You see the views go up and it just plateaus. What is Flote doing about this kind of issue? Like, do you guys have an algorithm? Is that an issue that anyone's going to have to be concerned about in the future?
No, yeah, we don't get involved with all that. We're just, like I've said before, we're rewinding the clock as far as, feeds are concerned and search function is concerned, because we want the internet to act like it's supposed to, and like how we all know it is. And now we're all seeing these little tweaks in the algorithms every week basically. And YouTube search is getting worse and worse. Just today I was trying to search for something that I know has, probably 1 million views, and I couldn't find it. Google is getting, much worse. Facebook, same thing. Now what they're doing, their little trick is they'll, if you create a new account, they'll give you a little bit more engagement, and then they'll set you up with like, here's some free ad, to spend. And then they want you to basically say, oh, I was getting all this engagement. Okay, I'm just going to start putting money into the, ads, because I have to in order to keep the engagement at the same level. So yeah, we don't do that. We respect our users. We don't read your private messages like Twitter and Facebook. We don't censor things like these other platforms.
You don't just send all of our information to the Chinese government?
No, I mean, we have to comply with laws here because we are U.S. based. But it's actually the laws are not that very content or unfriendly or for content creators. There are a couple of things, obviously, but for the most part, it's really these companies, these large tech companies that are taking this upon themselves, and it's so hard to understand exactly where they're coming from a business perspective, because it just seems like they keep shooting themselves in the foot every month with something new. So I think a lot of it has to do with some sort of like you mentioned, the elections coming up. I think that really affected them. We saw Google CEO and YouTube and basically all the large tech companies right now just talking about how they're not going to let that happen again and all this. So our main thing is like we want to remove ourselves as a middleman between person-to-person communication and also payments too. So that's the biggest our core really values is just removing the middleman and letting people be able to communicate freely and pay for things, whether it's content. We'll have storefronts up probably Q1 next year. And it's a simple concept. Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense because YouTube or Google used to be don't be evil, and now they're being as evil as possible. This has become all about control for them because they, like I mentioned, they're losing billions of dollars. They're losing billions of dollars in revenue by demonetizing all these channels. And if this was in any way about money, this is why the root of all evil isn't money, folks. It's the control of the masses, and what we're seeing here is a control of the masses. If they can change the narrative, they can change the hopes and dreams of mankind. This is really dangerous going forward. And what Flote does, it's a very ambitious project, but I think it's all really starting to come together. It's still in beta, but it's really rolling out. And what I see is, replacing Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Tumblr, Reddit, and things like Patreon all in one over time, and making it simple for someone from age 9 to 90 to be able to use properly, right? It's about being able to provide something that the average person can use, and people like us in the independent media that care about getting free information out. So I'm telling everyone to go over to Flote.app, Flote.app, and follow me at Josh Sigurdson, follow at Wham, follow at King. Go on Flote and follow us, because I think it's really important that we build up some momentum here. You go there now or you don't go there ever, because in the future, when they take down this channel, I can't tell you guys to go there anymore. I will lose access to all of you. I will be unable to reach you all, and it's going to be a huge change of the guard, and it's not going to be good. And of course, that's why I'm telling you right now, we are on Flote, we're on BitChute. Go over to those and just subscribe. It takes 2 seconds. It's the easiest sign up on Flote, seriously. It takes like no time to sign up and get an account. Post on there like once a week and watch, at least once a week, and watch the difference. You go on Facebook, you post something to 10,000 people, and you get like 1 or 2 likes over like 24 hours, and then to like 900 people on Flote, I'm watching like 15 times that amount pop up. It's amazing, and it really says a lot about not having an algorithm tell you what you can or cannot do and can or cannot think. So I really hope that everyone goes over there, joins us on Flote. And what's your pitch, your main pitch for the people watching for why they should go to Flote and just give it a chance at least and check out what Flote is really all about?
Yeah, right now we have our social networking features. We have already a Bitcoin Patreon, which we're going to be adding credit card, debit card, and bank account support. And we have live stream. We have super chat functionality. We don't take any fees. So for content creators, like you mentioned, we're seeing that they'll come onto Flote, they'll promote, or just tell their audience that they're on Flote. And then, like you mentioned, that their engagement is maybe not at the level that it is on other platforms yet, but it's great for the small community that we have right now that's growing. So if you get there now, you claim your username, which we still have a bunch of usernames that are short, or so you can still probably find what you're looking for, and promote it to your audience and have them just sign up, create an account, follow you there. You can already share to Twitter. We're going to be adding ways to share to Facebook. So we're really just trying to make it as easy as possible to say, hey, I don't like Facebook. I mean, 66% of Facebook users don't trust Facebook, and a lot of people pretty much everyone on YouTube is complaining now too. So we're just, we're offering an alternative for people to jump on board, start the community growing. We're adding boards this month, for sure. We'll be done by the end of the month now. So we'll be kind of like a subreddit or a Facebook group type of functionality. So we're looking forward to seeing other communities kind of join and build their audience there too. And we just have, we're still early. We still have like a good year of development to get everything like fully fleshed out. But it's just crazy what we've been able to do in such a short amount of time, and what we're going to offer. And I'm personally excited about it, because I just think it's what's needed right now. We're going through all the platforms and seeing what works, what doesn't work. And like I said, then just by removing us as the middleman, it just makes sense.
Yeah, it's never been more important than now to get on these other platforms before we completely get wiped off the internet, folks. If you're the average person watching videos that actually want to see the people that they subscribe to and follow, go to Flote. Start adding some people. Open your door to new people that you don't know yet, and be able to kind of immerse yourself in the community, because there is a really big community growing. Also, it's interesting how it's kind of like rolling back, like you've mentioned before, on Facebook or YouTube and stuff like that, several years. Let's not forget what started things like the Ron Paul revolution and stuff going back into 2008 and 2012 was things like YouTube and Facebook, and that would not be able to happen now. I think these new alternatives are the places where those things can happen. You can have hope for these things, and I think people should get on those platforms. Creators, monetization, guys. I mean, our livelihoods are about to get wiped out, so whether you're a gamer, whether you're independent media, whether you do short films, whether you do music, whatever it might be, get on there, post, do live streams. You can get super chats. I mean, there's so much that you could do on this platform, and I think the time is now to get on there. It takes 2 seconds. All it takes is 2 seconds. Just go on there, flote.app, sign up, get an account. There, that's it. That's all you have to do, and it really will change the way that we're able to receive information going down the line. So this is a revolution that won't be televised, but it will be on the internet, and we must save free information on the internet. So I really appreciate you going into this with us. I really hope that people join us, and links will be below. So check those links and join us there, because time is ticking, and it's time to get real about this stuff. So anyway, thanks for joining us, and until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson with Kingsley Edwards, signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change. Like what you see here, Wham! Don't forget to check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We cannot do it without you guys. Every donation is extremely, extremely appreciated, as we're getting incredibly shadow banned. We've lost 80% of our audience since January of 2019 and counting. They are ripping us apart here on YouTube, and the only thing we could do in the meantime as we prepare for the next big step is to ask for help from the viewers that support our free information that we try to post on a daily basis. You can also find us on Subscribestar, where just $1 a month, that's all it takes, $1 a month is all it takes to truly make a huge difference. If everyone gave $1 a month, it would change everything for independent media, and we could win this information war, and we can defeat the mainstream medias eventually. And of course, on Subscribestar, we post subscriber-only content that you'll only see on Subscribestar. So make sure to pledge there, become a patron. That makes a huge difference, guys. And also, don't forget to check out our Bitcoin address below in the comments and description, as well as on the screen for you to scan, if you please. And also, don't forget to subscribe to us on the alternatives. We will likely be deleted by YouTube in the next 2 years. It's already happening on a vast scale, so make sure to find us on Flote.app. That's Flote.app. at Josh Sigurdson, as well as at Wham, W-A-M. Flote.app is replacing every social media, and I mean, it's just incredible the opportunities it provides for not just creators, but for the average person who wants to get away from these nannies telling them what they can or cannot see. They plan to replace Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Tumblr, Reddit, and Patreon. You could subscribe to us on Flote and pledge with cryptocurrency. It's really innovative. We are also on BitChute at World Alternative Media, as well as so many others, Minds, PocketNet. You can find us at World Alternative Media on Instagram. There's many options. And finally, don't forget to join us at Anarchapulco 2020, the famous event, the best Liberty event known to mankind, other than perhaps Anarcho Vegas 2020. There are two major events coming up that we are extremely excited about, and you can use promo code WHAM, that's W-A-M, and save 10% on your tickets to these legendary conferences. There's so many amazing people speaking there. You won't want to miss it. So make sure to support in any way you can, even if it's just sharing our videos, pressing like, pressing to be notified. Anything helps, folks. You are the change you wish to see. Thanks for watching, everyone. And until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.
I'm sure you have already changed people's minds in your young age because you're involved, and I like that.
Bye.